What's up, everybody? Welcome to the latest edition of the Stephen A. Smith Show, coming at you as I love to do at least 3 times a week over the digital airways of YouTube and, of course, iHeartRadio. As always, I'd like to take a moment to thank my subscribers and followers for continuing to support the show. We've had millions of downloads courtesy of iHeartRadio over the last few months, and in the case of YouTube, we've now eclipsed more than 1.2 million subscribers. Can't thank y'all for the love and support enough. Keep it coming, and I'm going to keep on coming. To continue to like and follow the show, just click the bell to get notified for all of our newest content, and you too shall consider yourself the latest member of the Stephen A. Smith Show family. And while you're doing that, please make sure to pick up a copy of my New York Times best-selling book, Straight Shooter, a memoir of second chances and first takes, now in paperback. Just go to straightshooterbook.com to get yourself a copy. Once again, that's straightshooterbook.com to get yourself a copy. Listen, I got a lot of stuff to get into because I saw my boy Jalen Brunson put on the show. I mean, did you see him? Did you see him? Did you see him? You know what I'm saying? The three-pointers, you know, mwah! You see that? Mwah! That's what he was doing. Mwah! To the Boston fans. It was a beautiful moment. LG Anunoby dropped another 29, okay? Mikal Bridges missed the 4 first-round unprotected picks given up for him. Showed up when it counted most to give you that stability, to give you those minutes played, to give you that defensive tenacity. It was beautiful to see. It's just one game. It's just one game. But damn it, I was scared the Knicks were going to get swept. That's how scared I was of this series. Because I know who Boston is. I know what they can do. I know they're the best road team in basketball. I know they're the reigning defending NBA champions. I know that Jason Statham is a stud. I know that Jaylen Brown is the reigning NBA Finals MVP. I know that they can shoot better than anybody. I know this. So I was nervous. And when they were down 20, I didn't like that either. But then they came scratching and clawing back, and then they scored the first 8 points of the fourth quarter, and then they ultimately tied, and then they ultimately took the lead. And Jalen Brunson, if he hadn't missed that floater at the end of regulation, it wouldn't have been no overtime, so I was worried about that too. But they ultimately survived, y'all. They ultimately survived. And they go up 1-0, which means worst case scenario, meaning if they lose game 2, they come back to the Garden this weekend, tied 1-1, and the Garden's going to be rocking. And I can't wait. So I'm very, very happy about that. Wasn't as happy about OKC wetting the bed the way that they did. Chet Holmgren choking at the free throw line. Okay, Jalen Williams shooting 25% from the field, knowing you need his offense to help SGA. Okay, looking at Jokic and Aaron Gordon playing bully ball against Holmgren and Isaiah Hartenstein. Out-rebounding them like 63-43 totally. You know, collectively as teams. And then on top of it all, Jokic dropping 42 and 22. Aaron Gordon hitting the game-winning three-point shot with 2.8 seconds left. I've seen it. And Russell Westbrook. I can't say enough about this brother. There's a lot to get into. And what better way to get into it than talking to my next guest? Okay? Talking to my next guest. It's very, very important that you hear from him because he's going to break it down for you in ways that, quite frankly, I can't. But I'm not going to do that before I pay these bills with Prize Picks. All right, everybody, listen up. With all the big-time sports action that's happening each and every day, the Stephen A. Smith Show wants to make sure you are taking advantage of it all. That's why we've partnered with Prize Picks, the best place to win cash while watching sports. The app is really easy to use. To make a lineup, all you have to do is pick more or less on a few player stats. Choose from any of your favorite players, Luka Doncic, Jimmy Butler, and Zach LaVine, all in the same entry. Then sit back and watch. The list is absolutely endless. You can play Prize Picks in over 40 states, including California and Texas. Best of all, Prize Picks will give you $50 when you play your first $5 lineup. Win or lose, you'll get $50. Just use promo code SAS and download Prize Picks right now. Again, download the app and use code SAS to get $50 instantly after your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game. Let's get started with the NBA playoffs and the 2 featured game last night that went down to the wire. To help me get into all of that, I have a 2-time National Player of the Year at Duke, a national champion, by the way, who's an outstanding basketball analyst for the family at ESPN. The one and only Jay Williams is in the house. What's up, big time? How are you? By the way, I left out National Player of the Year. My bad. I left out National Player of the Year.
Just don't skip the second pick behind the 7'6" Chinese man. That's all. You know what I mean? Just don't skip that. That's just a little bit of respect of my name, essay. That's all.
I got you. I got to give it to you. Yeah, listen, I've only called you the greatest player in the history of Duke's program. That's what I've said. I mean, I've said that on many, many occasions, okay? But let me ask you this. You watch the New York Knicks. handle their business last night. How shocked were you that that happened?
First off, man, like I've known Jalen Brunson since he's been 5 years old, since his dad, Rick Brunson, took my Corvette, said he wanted to borrow it, and then took the damn thing, SA, for 3.5 weeks. That's another story for
Wow.
another day on the YouTube channel that we'll get into. Okay. That's called being punked by your veteran. But Jalen was he always wanted to hoop with us. It didn't matter if we were physical, and Rick always like punished him, like beat him up. You know what I mean? Like made the game extremely physical. And in the game last night, I guess when it was close, it didn't really shock me that they were down 20, that they came back. I think what was more shocking is the fact Boston just settled, man. And watching them shoot 60 damn threes out of their 97 shots, and then watching Jason Tatum down the stretch just settle and settle and settle. SA, you and I have talked about this. After winning a world championship and then having
Mm-hmm.
multiple DMPs in USA basketball with Steve Kerr, like there's something for Jason Tatum to prove. And for a guy that's been there multiple times, and for a team that is full of veterans, for them to just to settle for contested three, I was angered by that. That doesn't sit right with me. And
Right.
the fact they can't change up the style or the rhythm, like it makes me
Mm-hmm.
question, even though I know they're a better team than the New York Knicks. So yeah, I was shocked that the Knicks won.
Well, what about the argument that even though they damn sure shot too many threes, and we get that part, they're last in the league in free throw attempts. They're like third last in layups. This is what they do, and they're the reigning and defending NBA champions. So if something's not broke, why fix it? What about that argument?
I mean, it's hard for me because that's data analytics, and data analytics prove that threes are always more conventional than twos and layups. So, like the free throw aspect of it, fine. But if there's anything that kind of breaks that barrier, SA, it's the fact that they won a world championship playing that similar style. Now, you can post up, you can get twos, you can't get away from that completely, but they are a team that is a volume 3-point shooting team. So, how about this? I'll reverse it on you because I know you're a Knicks fan. The fact that the Knicks won the game and it was a close game despite them missing 45 threes. Like, how do you
Right.
feel about that?
I don't feel comfortable because I think that it's almost automatic that Boston wins game two and that Boston is the best road team in basketball. So whatever you've been seeing from them at TD Bank Garden in Boston, it's going to be even better when they roll up at Madison Square Garden, where you know it's going to be hyped because the series in worst case scenario is going to be tied 1-1 and Knicks fans are going to be going crazy. And that seems to play right in the hands of Boston.
Mm. No, Anthony Towns, I worry about him saying, I mean, he didn't have a great game, but just the versatility
Right.
of how Boston plays and how they bait him. How will he play? So look, I think Boston to me is the best team. I think in the Eastern Conference, OKC, I think is the best team in the league. Whether they prove it or not against Denver is another story. But I think it's going to take performances like that where New York has to keep it close. If they keep it close, and then you got Captain Crunch and Jalen Brunson and Crunch Time, then you have a legitimate shot. If they don't keep it close, it ain't gonna be no contest.
Did a performance like that from Boston last night give you cause to pause as it pertains to not them winning this series? Because most people believe they're going to win this series. But did it give you cause to pause as to whether or not they'll repeat as champions?
No, no, it's
No.
I I hear the sentiment. Like in the back of my brain, I want it to make sense. But damn, SA, over 80% of the shots they took were wide open. They were butt naked. I mean,
Right.
so I mean, like that's like knowing how they play, that game could have easily have been won by 40 points if they had knocked down
Mm.
half those shots. So like that's what they do. Now I get it. They settled a little bit. They took contested shots, Jason Tatum. But I think if anything, this team has resolve and they understand who they
Mm.
are. I highly doubt that they will have a performance as poor behind the arc as they did in game one in the entire rest of the
You
playoffs.
sound you sound more secure about them than you do about Oklahoma City because we saw them lose a game last night. We saw Chet Holmgren miss two free throws with 9.5 seconds left. We saw Coach Dagnall call for after Shea Gilgeous-Alexander made his dunk with 11 seconds left. We saw him call for a foul immediately, which both you and I were like, "What the hell was that about? Why would you do that?" Because all you did was give Gordon a couple of free throws, and then after that, ultimately they come down and he hits a winning three after Holmgren missed those free throws. You look at Oklahoma City, And to me, what really got exposed is how they struggle offensively on too many occasions. Their defense is like they're like piranhas. But offensively, I don't know if there's anyone you can rely upon outside of SGA. What are your thoughts about OKC?
That's why I have more confidence in Boston because they have more weapons offensively, and I've seen it before. I mean, and can we just
Mm.
revisit something for 1 second, Stephen A? Like,
Sure.
why are we fouling in the backcourt? Like, why aren't we
Yeah.
taking 4 seconds off the damn shot clock to get the ball up the court and then foul with 5 seconds? I mean, you just having Nikola Jokic, the guy that's been essentially put Chet Holmgren and Isaiah, Hartenstein in daycare center. I mean, he held a parent teacher conference, damn it, pretty much with the way he was, giving them a paddle like they were altar boys. I mean, what's going on? I don't understand why, if he's not in the game, after SGA makes that bucket, why foul immediately in the backcourt? I don't
Mm.
I get data analytics extending the game, but why not wait for them to bring the ball up the court, knowing that their best offensive weapon is sidelined and they have 0 timeouts? Why are you giving them the benefit of stopping the clock so early in the clock? That was a rookie mistake. So when you ask me why I have more confidence in Boston, is because they've been through the gauntlet before. I think I haven't seen
Hmm.
KC get there. Doesn't mean that they can't, but I think those are the smaller types of things that happen that we see: lack of scoring options, coaching strategies that maybe there's a lot of rigidity, there's not a lot of flexibility. Those are the things that concern me about OKC.
See, when you bring up coaching in Oklahoma City, I go to Sam Presti, revered as an elite executive in this game, a master at acquiring talent, whether through the draft or through trades, accumulating picks, etc. We all know this about him. And this man, in 17 plus years as the executive running the Oklahoma City Thunder, I'd like to remind you, Jay, he doesn't have one single championship to show for it. He's going to the finals in 2012, but outside of that, that's it. And over the years, he's had Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Serge Ibaka, Reggie Jackson, Paul George, Carmelo Anthony, I'm Victor Oladipo. He's had all of these players, but somehow, some way, he can never win the championship. And I would point to coaching. Billy Donovan's a good coach. Won back-to-back national titles as a coach in Florida. Scott Brooks was a damn good coach. Took him to the finals. Had him as a perennial title contender in the playoffs. Dagnall is nothing to sneeze at. I think the guy's very, very impressive. But when you ask the kind of question you asked about coaching strategy, I'm saying I have no choice but to look at that historically about that franchise when it comes to Sam Presti, because we certainly never been able to look at their roster and say they didn't have enough to win. We've been able to look at their roster on many occasions since 2011 and said, you know what? They could win it all. And it never happens.
Say some people in our world just
I
have
know.
a larger margin of error than others. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You get what I'm saying? And the
Yeah.
reality is, when you stockpile draft picks the way he did, and it provides you a lot of flexibility, and something falls in your lap like SGA, and now we're considering them to be at the top. I think now is when the pressure reaches its climax, because now it's like, okay, now we needed to see results before, but now it's time. You have a guy that's going to win the MVP, that's one of the best players in the league. We talk about Edwards or Jason Tatum. You and I got into that a little bit the other day about the face of the league. I mean, look right before you, and a guy like SGA. So you are
Mm-hmm.
right, but I think it's reaching its peak right now, because now this is what we need to see it reach the pinnacle now. Now it's time for them to win it.
By the way, I appreciate you bringing that up, because you were making the argument that Jason Tatum was the face of the league, and I'm like,
Uh,
last
he-
night ain't the. I mean,
He's on,
piggybacking off of
he's
last
on
night ain't the greatest moment to bring that. Ain't the greatest moment, Jay. Ain't the greatest moment to bring that up. Even though I believe in the brother, I do. I do. Listen, before I even move on from this, how can we talk about last night's game and not bring up Nikola Jokic? 42 and 22 and 6. And I mean, on the court with the guy that's expected to beat him out for league MVP honors with Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, who finished with 33 and 10. No slouch. But Jokic is something special, man. He really is. I don't know what to say I don't know what else, because he can't jump onto a curb to save his life. And nobody can stop him. And considering that and the way Russell Westbrook is playing,
You're giving him the benefit of the
yes,
doubt jumping onto the curb. I'm talking about he can't jump over an eyelash.
that's right. And you can't stop him. And him and Gordon play bully ball. And I'm looking at them and I'm like, they might go to the conference finals. Your thoughts about Denver?
I mean, obviously, when you lose some of the pieces that they had defensively, it led to a lot of question marks. But I've said it before, SGA is going to win the MVP. He's the best player in basketball. Best player in basketball. It's unorthodox. It ain't the sexiness that people want that come along with it, but he can dislodge anybody off of their spot. I mean, Zubac did the best individual performance we've seen against him was in the last series versus the Clippers, and it was at least somebody that held their ground. I mean, ain't too many people in the world built the way Zubac is in order to hold their ground against him, and the way they kept digging down into the spots, and he never really caught the ball in the operational area where he was comfortable.
Right.
But watching him last night, man, it was like a backyard beating. He did whatever he wanted. And look, man, we got to do 44 and 22. God damn. That's it's gonna be hard to stop that. And I don't see nobody on their team stopping that.
Neither do I. Let's move on to a couple other series. Minnesota, Golden State. I got Minnesota in 6, bro. I think they're too big. I think Ant-Man is too great. I think that they're too good defensively. They have too much size. I can't imagine the only way Golden State can beat them is Golden State shooting the lights out and Minnesota can't find the basket. Your thoughts about that series?
My brother, when we're on TV, can you not use the word girth? Because you have to understand, I am a child, and I'm just gonna start laughing because I wanted to pause you the other day so bad, but I couldn't do it. I'm a child.
My bad, my bad,
Yeah,
my
I know.
bad.
Anyway, I, I'm gonna take Golden State. I'm gonna take Golden State.
Really? How they gonna do it, Jay?
Because
How they gonna do it?
I don't think the sides, you keep talking about sides, but if I have spacing and shooting, that negates sides. Because now the sides got to guard me on the perimeter. I think Minnesota's going to be forced to play smaller than what we think. If Rudy
Mm.
Gobert wants to guard Draymond Green or Looney in these pick and pop scenarios, then good luck to him. Good luck to him skating around on the perimeter, trying to chase around all the shooters of Buddy Hield. And I mean, I give Steve Kerr a lot of credit. Whether GTP was sick or had issues, like playing Buddy Hield a lot, like, that's floor spacing. That helps him tremendously. So yeah, I hear the thing about size. And also, I'm gonna give you another one, SA, because I want to hear what your thoughts on it. Ant Edwards at the beginning of the year said he wanted to play Golden State, obviously because of USA
Yeah.
basketball, Draymond Green, the trash talk, and all the stuff that happens, right?
Hmm.
He didn't know he was going to get Jimmy Butler. So I'm over here saying,
That's true.
okay, Ant, I love you, Ant-Man, Superman, Batman, Lakers in 5. I love
Lakers in
all that.
5.
I love walking around the arena after beating the Lakers and talking trash, talking shit to everybody. I'm all for that. You about to get a grown ass man now, somebody that's an older version of you. His name is Jimmy Butler. So that's a matchup you're gonna have to take. I don't think he's gonna be on Steph Curry. I think he's gonna take Jimmy Butler. And I know Jimmy Butler's gonna have his ass. So I want to see how Ant does it against him. That's different. I love Bron. I love Luca. I love KD. I love Devin Booker.
Hmm.
I love Jamal Murray. You talking about all offensive minded dudes. Jimmy
Hmm.
Butler's that dude in the trenches. I call him a technician.
Number one, he's not 100%. He's not 100% healthy. And number two, that's a relatively easy answer for me. Jimmy Butler's great. Mad respect to him. But I'd rather guard Jimmy Butler than be chasing around Steph Curry. I don't want to be chasing Steph Curry all over the damn place. We saw what Kyrie Irving did to Ant-Man last year. You understand what I'm saying? When you going up against the smaller guards that can sniper you out of there from long range, that can dance on you or whatever, that's problematic. That's not Jimmy. Jimmy's a man amongst boys. Jimmy's physical, but he's a different kind of beast. And I think the kind of beast Ant-Man would more easily embrace than the alternative.
Can I
That's
tell
my answer to that question, Jay.
Can I tell you why I hope you are right? Because if I'm Jimmy,
Okay.
I want to be in your head the whole damn game. Please guard me. I'm talking to you. We are exchanging. This is intellectual warfare. If you're built for it,
Mm-hmm.
let's see if you're really built for it. Like, and
Mm-hmm.
that kind of exchange on a game to game, 24/7
Right.
basis is exactly the type of
Mm-hmm.
mental chess match I want to see if Ant can withstand. I want to see it.
Let me move on from this subject to something a bit closer, more dear to you. Ant-Man and Minnesota are going against Golden State because they bounced the Lakers out of there in 5. What did you think about the job JJ Redick did coaching the Los Angeles Lakers this season and these playoffs? And how surprised were you that they ended up home in 5?
Wasn't that surprised that they ended up home in 5. I thought game 4 could have went a different way down the stretch if the ball bounces a different way. The calculated bet of playing his starters the third and fourth quarter is an unorthodox one. But if they had lost by 10 or 15, I was like, okay, what are you doing? It was,
Mm-hmm.
and I hear what people say about how that then translates into game 5.
Okay.
How do I say this the correct way? I'm just going to say it. He lost the, I don't know what happened with Jackson Hayes. I don't know how you just lose confidence
Right.
to that extent in Jackson Hayes, especially when you're getting beat up on the blocks, when you give up 18 offensive damn rebounds, right? You need size in there. But there was something that I do trust JJ's intuition. There is a learning curve that I think JJ will have in this league. I do often wonder, though, and SA, you and I know him very well. When you when he engages in battle and he sees red, sometimes that genius gets combated a little bit with the competitive fire where this is what it has to be. And I think that's something that we
Yeah.
still need to see him be fine-tuned with. We've seen him lose his cool a little bit. You've seen it. You've seen it when you've exchanged
Yeah.
with him a little bit. It gets heated. Then it kind
Yep.
of becomes personal. He loses the strategy aspect of it. I'm wondering if that
Mm-hmm.
happened a little bit throughout this aspect. You know what I mean?
Mm. Yeah. What do you think he can do with Luca? And what role do you think LeBron should play, if any at all, in helping Luca maximize his potential now that you are stuck with him being a Los Angeles Laker, essentially?
I mean, I think what JJ did calling them out, saying we weren't in championship shape. I mean, who the hell is that referring to but one person?
No.
That,
Yeah.
that's nobody else in that team is out of shape like that. So look, if you, I said this before, accountability is not hate; it's the price of the damn throne. And obviously, Steph has made improvements on the defensive end. He put on weight. He's worked on it. He is a marginal defender. He's a serviceable defender. Luka is not. So that's number one.
Mm-hmm.
And I think number two, LeBron knows what it is. I mean, at this stage, your team made the move, and he had to know, SA.
Right.
Somebody had to call LeBron James on the phone and say, yo, like he's earned that respect. There's no way they made that move without him. Now he can say whatever he
Mm-hmm.
wants to say. It's Braun. I respect that, but ain't nobody making no move on your show without calling you. I know that for a
Right.
fact. Ain't nobody making a move in
Right.
my company without calling me. I know that for a fact.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's happening, if you gave it the blessing, it's your job to say, "Yo, it's time. It's time for you to get
Mm-hmm.
this to the next gear." And he has to be that
That's
big
right.
bro. That's the only way.
And he has to be that big bro. As far as I'm concerned, you on the basketball court. If cats ain't maximizing their potential, they holding you back. Just like you just brought me up and what have you. You coming on the show, you ain't doing your damn job. You ain't gonna be there. I don't give a damn who you are. I'm like, what? We trying to win. We trying to win. We can't just sit idly by and let anything happen. But look, before I let you get on out of here, you talked about your company. Let's talk about that for a quick second. What is Jay Williams doing with his life outside of ESPN, my brother? What's been going on with you, man?
I'm just trying to bring added value to ESPN. I'm just following your footsteps. I'm just following your
Mm-hmm.
footsteps, man. I happened to work with a dude who was in New York the other day. I'll leave that one to you, SA.
Okay.
I don't know
Okay.
what's going to happen to your Knicks, but I'll leave that one to you. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
And I'm
Okay.
just, I'm just trying to beat a little brother. I'm just trying to find my way. Hopefully, I have my own show like you one day. That's the plan.
Do a lot of things, man. Shoot, I know this much. Anytime anybody wants to talk about a show on business, they should have you. And the world of sports and business intertwining, because sports is business, really. They should be talking to you. Bloomberg should be talking to you. A whole bunch of people should be talking to you, actually. That's my personal opinion. But we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that in the future, because I got some ideas that I want to throw your way.
You
Last
know, I've
thing.
been trying to work. You already know what time that is with you, because I know what you built. So we're on
That's
the
right.
same page. We've
You
been
know,
on the
yeah,
same page. Hey, and by the way, the show's looking the show's looking really good. It's looking really good.
I'm trying. I'm trying. I'm going to take it to another level. Watch the next few months. I got some stuff down the pike. Trust me on that. We didn't talk about Tyrese Haliburton in this regard. We know that he's leading everybody in assists at 11.8 this postseason. We know that Indiana's up 1-0 on Cleveland, and Cleveland's got some injuries they sustained in game one, plus Darius Garland didn't play. But I never talked to you about your thoughts about Tyrese Haliburton's father and how he got into it with Giannis and what you thought the fallout should have been for the father of Tyrese Haliburton. By the way, I can't applaud Tyrese Haliburton enough. It takes a lot for a kid to come out and say, my dad was wrong. I don't know if anybody, I mean, I always respected Tyrese Haliburton, but your respect has to elevate exponentially for a guy that's willing to do that. I mean, it really is. But it was the right thing, in my opinion. What were your thoughts?
I 100% agree with you on that. I think he handled it beautifully and respectfully. And I knew that he called GA. He called Giannis and apologized. Like, and I think that takes that takes a grown ass man to do something like that. And as you know, SA, because we come from those type of communities that, when you get drafted, you don't get drafted. We made it. We made it. And your
Right.
parents become fixtures in what you do. And a lot of times it's hard to tell the authority figure in your family what time it needs to be. But that's Tyrese Haliburton stepping into his grown ass man shoes. And I'm proud of him for that. I was honest, thank God Giannis has composure, because if that was somebody like
Oh,
me,
yes.
or SA, if we on the if you're on set and somebody just comes and runs on the set, we might exchange hands. I don't know who the hell you are. We might
Right.
exchange hands up in my
Right.
face
Right.
with the towel. So I give him grace on how he handled it. But I mean, I also think that Indiana handled it well. I think that ban is what you need to do. It's unfortunate. That's your star player. But I'm sure that they talked to Reese about what they were thinking about doing, and he had to co-sign it. So for me, when your star player co-signs something because his father put himself in that situation, to me, that lets me know that my star player is aligned with my franchise. And that alignment speaks volumes about where I want the future of my franchise to be. I want it to be in his hands because he respects what we're trying to build.
Absolutely. No question about it. Last question. Knicks, Boston series. How long is it going?
I don't think New York's gonna get another one. I'm gonna be there Saturday. You going to the game on Saturday?
Uh, I'll be in LA doing countdown.
Mm, I'll be there.
You knew that. You're just bringing it up to hurt me. You're just bringing it up to hurt me. You know I couldn't be there because I had to be in LA.
I just thought you were gonna be there. I thought you were gonna be, boots on the court. I, I, if
Yeah,
they get one more essay, I would be shocked. I'm To me, the headline was Boston gave that one away. They gave it away, and I'm commending New
So you
York.
got Boston in 5.
I got
You
Boston in
got
five.
Boston in 5.
I think this one wakes them up. I know it. I
Okay.
think this one lights a fire under their ass. I know it did for Joe Mazzulla.
Golden State, Minnesota. How long?
You got Golden State in 7. Can
7.
we bet
Back
on
in Minnesota, on the road, Minnesota. Second consecutive series. You
7?
got them winning it.
7.
7.
Come on, man.
7.
Give me a Tom Ford suit. Come on, we can put a Tom Ford suit online.
Okay, we could do, we might be able to do that. Let me ask you this: is KD gonna be in Houston next year?
Come on, man. I don't want nobody to call me a liar again. I say, come on, man. Take me down that road
Okay.
with him.
Yes.
Is he gonna be in Houston next year? If you're Houston, do you want Kevin Durant? I'm asking you.
Okay. Should Houston or Detroit want him?
If I'm Detroit, I like that. I like it for Detroit. If I'm Houston, do I go for Giannis? I'm all in for Giannis before I'm all in for Kevin Durant.
If
I
I'm
think
anybody, I'm all in for Giannis more than I'm all in for Kevin Durant at this stage of their careers.
I
I'm
hear
all in for Giannis. if I'm anybody.
With the age and with the pieces I got that can play around him, priority one, Giannis. And I actually think if you're Houston, I don't know if I want, as great as KD is with the ailments that he's had, I'm not sure at that stage of his career that I want that on my team. And that's not anything to knock Kevin Durant and his leadership abilities and how he plays, because he is a certified bucket getter. But I'm not sure that's what Houston needs at this time with what they have.
Jay Williams, appreciate you, big boy. Thanks so much for taking time out of your busy schedule, man. Thank you so much. I really need to talk to you. Appreciate it, man.
Always, big bro. Thanks, man.
All right. The one and only Jay Williams, basketball analyst extraordinaire for the family. Always appreciate him. Right here on the Stephen A. Smith Show with the digital airways of YouTube and, of course, iHeartRadio. Coming up, she's a Tony and Grammy Award-winning actress with range who plays the ruthless mother in Power Book 3, Raising Kanan. I've got Patina Miller in studio. Straight ahead. But first, President Trump promised sweeping deportations across the country last fall on the campaign trail. Now his new administration is offering $1,000 and a plane ticket for self-deportation. What happened? I'll get into all of that next, right here on the Stephen A. Smith Show. Welcome back to the Stephen A. Smith Show. Now let's get to our nation's capital, where the Department of Homeland Security is now offering $1,000 and a plane ticket to unauthorized immigrants to self-deport. The announcement comes as deportations nationwide have become stagnant during President Trump's first 100 days in office. Mass deportations were a key campaign promise that Trump said he would start as soon as he took office. However, it appears the administration did not take into account the cost of that promise. According to the Department of Homeland Security, a single deportation costs U.S. taxpayers more than $17,000. The federal agency expects self-deportations to decrease that cost by 70%, even after factoring in the $1,000 stipend. Now look, how the hell do you not take the cost into consideration? How did you not know that it cost you about $17,000 per migrant to the taxpayer in the United States of America when you talked about engaging in deportation? So if you're talking about originally, if you wanted to sit up there and say 12 million people crossed the border illegally and that a lot of them have to go, let's round that out. Let's round that out to 10 million. And let's say your goal was to deport 10 million migrants back to wherever they came from. Now, that wouldn't be that big of a deal. Because, I mean, after all, when your national deficit is $37 trillion, I mean, what's 1.7 billion? Except you made so much noise about it when it came to Doge and Elon Musk. And you were bragging about the hundreds of millions of dollars that is being saved by identifying fraud and waste. But we didn't take that into consideration. Now, you see, ladies and gentlemen, here's where it's time to get a little bit nervous. Because when you're willing to admit as a government that you didn't know about that cost, that's a bit alarming. When you take into account some of the other problems we have, like with the airlines, because you see, I fly out of Newark all the time. And I'm reading all of these stories about air traffic controllers. 20% of its workforce has departed. When you're wondering about overflowing traffic and 4-hour delays on average. And you want and talk about runways that are overloaded and stuff like that. It's making me a bit nervous. Because once again, even though I'm a centrist, these are the moments where I lean a little left, where government intervention is something I would prefer, as opposed to us trying to privatize everything or trying to act like we don't need government at all. We don't need to go that far because clearly we need them for some things. We may not need them to be excessive, but we don't need them to be absent and non-existent. And if you got that kind of problem, what kind of problem are we going to have with healthcare? Because it is a voucher system that's about to be in place, courtesy of Governor Abbott in Texas, likely Governor DeSantis in Florida, along with various others. We don't need the Department of Education. We need private schools. We don't need public schools. Well, hell, why not both? I'm just saying, these are the kind of things to get nervous about. There was a helicopter that collided with a plane near Reagan National in D.C. months ago that killed about a few people. I don't recall the specific number at this moment in time. I apologize for not having that story right in front of me. I'm just paying attention to these kind of things. It's making me nervous. All I'm saying is it's making me nervous. You know what? Damn the issue with Harvard when we got these kind of things to worry about. I'm not taking the side of the Trump administration specifically, even though Harvard does have a $53 billion endowment. So you're kind of wondering, why do they need government funds? But that's neither here nor there. I need to do more research about that before I take a position definitively in that regard. All I'm saying is that pales in comparison to air traffic issues. That pales in comparison to that kind of stuff. And when we get back to the migrants and folks paying folks to deport themselves, well, if it's $17,000 per person, how the hell did you come up with $1,000 as a stipend? Couldn't you come up with 5 to 10? How many people are going to turn themselves in for $1,000 and a free airline ticket? And then he had the audacity to say, and they're going to be a beautiful flight home. Well, how's it beautiful? First of all, you're going back to a place you don't want to go back to, and how the hell are you speaking for the airlines now? When's the last time you've been on one of these airlines to tell whether or not they're beautiful? I'm just asking. These are logical questions. It's going to be a beautiful flight home, and $1,000. Really? Really? Come on, y'all. Something to be alarmed about. That's all I'm saying. Hell, I'm scared to fly home. I'm thinking about driving from California. Kind of shit I've been reading. I might drive home. It's 3 days. It's a 3-day trip. I might do it. Rather than getting the damn plane, what the kind of damn reports I've been reading. Just a thought. I'm just saying. Coming up, she's fearless, powerful, and should never be crossed. I'm talking about Patina Miller, star of the hit series Raising Kanan. She's joining me next right here on the Stephen A. Smith Show. Don't go away. Welcome back to the Stephen A. Smith Show. You know, it's very, very rare that I ask to talk to anybody. You know, I literally come on the air every day ready to do my show by my damn self. But every now and then, you run across somebody that just moves you. They're just a star in their own right, in words that you can't describe. Especially when it's outside your industry. This woman that I had the pleasure of interviewing, I taped an interview with her in studio, face-to-face, a few days ago. And I personally requested it, because I think she is a sensational actress. She truly, truly is. She stars on one of my favorite shows on Stars itself, Raising Kanan. Power Book Goes 3, Raising Kanan. She's fabulous. You understand what I'm saying? Rock is no joke. You know, and she just... Yes, she's won a Tony. Yes, she's won awards. Yes, the believability of her character, how she portrays herself in that role, how she changes, how she speaks normally to going into character and to do what she does the way that she does it, depicting, you know, that time in the streets of New York City the way that she does. I would know because I grew up in the streets of New York in the 80s. I can't say enough about her. Her name is Patina Miller. You're going to be hearing a lot more about her in the future. because she is simply sensational. And it is my honor and privilege to share this conversation that I had with her with the rest of y'all, because she's worth it. Stephen A. with Patina Miller, face to face in studio. Check it out. My next guest is a Tony Award-winning actress of stage and screen. She stars on the long-running Starz hit crime drama series Power Book 3, Raising Kanan, which has been renewed for a 5th season from what I'm told. Please welcome the marvelous Miss Patina Miller. How are you? How's everything?
I'm good. Everything is good.
This is a personal request. This is a personal request. I mean, you are here because I reached out to my team. I said, look, get her on this show. I want to talk to her. I mean, I'm usually not interviewing a bunch of actresses or whatever, but you are special. I want you to know that I find you to be one of the most marvelous actresses I have ever witnessed in my life. It is an honor to see you. How you doing?
I am so good. I'm even better now. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
I mean, Raising Kanan, I mean, it's flowing. It's really, really good. I'm one of those original Power guys.
Okay.
I never believed that I would like this show as much as I did. But
well, we've done our job.
It's you. Why is it so successful in your eyes?
I mean, I think what I think it takes the formula from the original Power. I think they're really interesting characters. They're 3-dimensional characters. Mm-hmm. The stakes are very high. I mean, I think, we all know Kanan's story. And so it's really interesting for the audiences to come and take a look at our show where you get to start at the beginning. Mm-hmm. And you realize the different influences in Kanan's life with how he turns out. Mm-hmm. And at the helm of that is this really amazing, dynamic, amazing, crazy woman.
Now, the scenery. What is this supposed to be? Is this supposed to be Queens, New York? Like it's supposed to be South Side? Is this supposed to be?
It's supposed to be South Side Jamaica,
right.
Queens.
You know, you're talking to a boy from Hollis, Queens.
Yeah. Okay. Then. So what you think?
I like it a lot
then.
because I'm like, wait a minute here. This is exactly how it looks.
No, yeah. Right. Oh yeah, we have a great team. I mean, I think everybody's done I know that everybody's done the work. So the acting, for me personally, is incredible, but also our creative team. Everyone who works on our show really gives 120%, and we wanted to make the show as authentic and real as we possibly could. So, we do shoot in Southside Jamaica. We've shot in like these big destinations, and we've used New York as our playground to tell this story. And I think people are attracted to the show because it is kind of like this time capsule. It's like going back in time, and it feels just so raw and authentic and really honest to the time.
We were talking a lot about anytime you see a show like this, you think about a kingpin. And a kingpin, it's a queen pin. It's queen pin. It's you. It's you. What drew you to this role?
I think, so for me, I'm always trying to investigate the truth of a character, what made the character really stand out for me, or what mystified me about the character is a woman of Raquel's nature, being in this man's world, being a mother, and being at the top of this criminal enterprise. What makes a person want to do the job that she's doing? How did the person get there? They don't get there just because they want to. They get there because it's a survival. And so how has this woman come to this great, holding the power that she has? And I was interested in that. And being a queen pin for me, that's kind of boring, but I wanted to make her interesting. I wanted her to be very interesting. I didn't want her to just be menacing.
And how do you believe you've made Raquel interesting?
Oh, I've definitely, what
I'm
I
talking
wanted.
About how you've done it. What do you
I mean, it was just her swagger, the way that she holds herself. I think all of Raquel's choices of what she thinks about power, just how much of a lioness she is about her son and to the people in her family. I think Raquel is very much family oriented. She's, she loves her family. She's the matriarch of her family, so she's holding it down. I know so many women and who hold it down all the time, not because sometimes they want to, but because they have to, and this is a responsibility. And, she wants legacy, and this is her way of creating some legacy. It's what she's good at. She's good with numbers. If she could be in somebody's office, maybe she would be in office if she had that opportunity, but she wasn't afforded that opportunity. So she's someone who's making her way and getting what's hers.
Well, let me tell you something right now. I'm gonna, listen, I'm not telling anybody because I know they all saw it already, but let me tell you something right now. One of my favorite scenes, I know you might not like this, but I like when you killed that girl that betrayed you. I like the girl in a laundromat. You helped her out when her man was beating her
Sure
up and all of this
did.
stuff, and she got big and bad, and you was like, course correct. I mean,
Sure
this you
did.
gotta make your, oh, I loved it. It was a beautiful scene. It was marvelous. When your relationship with the Kanan character in the show, how do you feel about that, and how much do you believe that's drawn in viewers?
I think, I love, first off, I think Mekhi Curtis is a wonderful
Yes, he is.
human being. He is a beautiful actor, and him and I have just had the opportunity to have so much fun on screen and off, getting to know one another, really getting to go into what this mother-son relationship is, because it's a deep relationship. And I think a lot of people can identify with that kind of relationship. It's not so simple. It's not a very simple relationship, and it turns and it's always changing. And in the beginning it was Kanan doing something because he wanted to protect his mother. Then in turn, his mother making a lot of crazy choices to protect her son. So they've both been trying to protect each other in a way, and then you find out there's lies and there's betrayals, and so it's how do you continue to, how do these things manifest, right? Like a lie, a secret, and all these things, and how much later, what damage is done, even if you're doing it out of something that you think is necessary to protect him in the long run. But they're mother and son, and they're always fighting for the love that they have. Even though it looks like it's not, they're always fighting for each other.
I have found myself captivated by that storyline from this perspective, especially when it comes to young black men. There are very, very few things that can be done to alienate them from their mamas.
Right.
They love their mamas,
Yeah,
right?
man.
Whereas
Queen.
with this story, even though it's clear that he loves you, he ain't gonna let nobody else mess with you.
Exactly.
But him himself, he gives you nothing but trouble. I mean, every time you turn around, he's mouthing off at you. He's hitting you back verbally, et cetera, et cetera. I want to know that as you continue to allow this role to evolve, what your thoughts are about that imagery, because we usually think young black men and mamas and they're linked.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily the case in terms from an ambiance perspective with you two on the show.
I think at the end of the day, it really is, they do have a bond, right? And that bond will continue to be tested. And right now, within the trajectory of the show, you've watched from seasons 1 through 3, and you're now watching in 4. You're watching them navigate a new relationship. Now Kanan has to have someone to blame for all of these things, and so you always blame the one the closest to you, right, for all of these things. And so Raquel is strong enough to take it. She is, she has to be the mother and the father in this situation, and she doesn't like it. She doesn't like that her son blames her for everything. All she wants is acceptance and love from him after all of these crazy things. And so that relationship will continue to change.
How much of a push was it for you to be that person as a mom on this show, raising Kanan, and then to go to the scene when you're with your brother, who's got the alcohol issue and was talking and contemplating suicide and all of this other stuff, and he's in there, he's in the meetings, and he's talking about what you mean to him and what have you, and how he didn't feel like you cared and all of this other stuff. What was that moment like for you?
Well, I think for me, I always try to attack my work with humanity. I always like to attack my work with truth and honesty, and so there has to be a way in to all of these different situations. And for me personally, I know what it's like to be the child of a young mother, so I know what that is. And I, being raised by my mom, her growing and me growing myself, and then also having a sibling, my brother, rest in peace to my brother, who passed away recently, but my brother had issues. My brother had some demons, and so I know what that's like to want something for a family member, want something, want so much to change, or want so much for them to be better, and so taking all of my experiences that I've had in my life, that I'm not a queen pin or anything, but I take all my experiences and I try to get to the truth and the honesty of what the character's trying to say. And so what Raquel is really trying to say to Lou in that moment, first off, it's, see me as your sister. I don't need this right now. My world has just come down. I've been played by everyone around me. I'm having a terrible moment. Ease off me. You know, the second is, when are you going to realize you need me for everything, right? Like, that's really it. She has to be honest with people. And I think it's the best thing that she possibly could do is people will say that she's not honest. And yes, she made a very bad decision with Kanan and his father, but with her brother, it's just, you know, you don't get to get out of this life because you want to get out of this life. We are in this, and we were supposed to be in this together, and you need me for everything. And if you want to run a business, run the business, but don't keep coming back to me. And so Raquel has had to be this way. In a way, she's parenting her brother, you know, Lou. And then to see how that affected him and to see how he turned to all these things, then she has to look inwards and say, like, you know, maybe that wasn't the right way to do it, or maybe Lou is right about some of the things that he said. And so they've really had some come to Jesus moments with each other. But that's what you do when you're family, right? You fight like that, but we love each other. At the end of the day, it's all rooted in love, but family should be able to have difficult conversations with each other. And at the end of the day, it's rooted in love. So that's how I feel.
Tell the audience about Patina Miller. What is it that we don't know that you would like people to know about you, other than the fact that you are, I'm going to repeat this, a sensational actress?
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. I don't know, you know, I'm a little private. I don't really love people knowing too much about me
I got you.
like that.
That's why I asked that general question.
But you know what I do?
specifics.
I love to put myself in my work. And so what I would want people to know about me, that I am a very sincere person. I am a very loving person. I give my heart and soul in everything that I do. You know, I'm a person who has passion and for the things that I want, and I put my heart and soul to everything that I do. And maybe that's what it is that, you know.
Let me ask you this. You starred in a Broadway revival of the musical Pippin.
I did,
For which you won the Tony Award for Best Performance by an Actress in a Leading Role in a Musical at the 67th Annual Tony Awards. The show also won Best Revival of a Musical. The great Mr. Ben Vereen himself originated the role. Did you have any apprehension about stepping into that role?
Yes, 100%. I mean,
Because?
it's legendary. Ben Vereen is an icon of the stage, and what he did with Pippin and who he is as a performer and what that show was, stepping into a role like that, I was unsure of how it was going to be taken, you know. First off, a woman playing the part, you know, how am I going to mess it up? So there was a lot of this, okay, people are going to come judging me. What is it going to be? And then I said, you know what? I'm going to just put my own flavor on it. I'm going to do my own thing, and I'm going to be Patina and bring what Patina brings to it. And luckily, that was very successful. And I have something to remind me of that moment in my life.
And I'm wondering, what do you believe that did for you? Because obviously there was some apprehension, some hesitation, but you did it anyway, and you were highly successful at doing it. How does that elevate one's confidence, particularly somebody like yourself, when you embrace a challenge and you exceed beyond expectations?
You know, I think it's trusting your gut. I think it's okay to be nervous and it's okay to be scared. Like, I always love to do things that scare me. I don't want to do easy things.
Wow.
Nothing that's easy.
Okay.
You know, like it's more to me than getting a script, reading my lines. What excites me is really breaking down a script, you know, really getting deep into a character and figuring out who this person is, figuring out how I can make the audience at home, you know, make it so that they see something within themselves or someone that they know through a character. How can I make what my work is, how can I make it land for people who might be going through something, right? Like to see yourself in something. That's what I would want as a viewer. And for me, like I say, it's not just picking up a script, but it's how can I go to as far as I can go. And I had someone tell me early in my career, don't be afraid to jump off the cliff. And so that basically is just about not being afraid to get to the edge, see that like it's scary and like who knows what's, you know what's going to happen if you fall, but it's just the freedom of getting out there and doing it.
But do you go through that once you accept the role? Or do you look at it and see if there's a possibility it can make you feel that way, both reading the script before you accept the role?
I think it's both. I think
Okay.
it's both. You have to see, there has to be some sort of a vision of like, oh my God, what could I do with this? And so for me, the leading player in Pippen was that way, picking up the script to read Raising Kanan and reading who Raquel was and reading the show. I was like, oh my God, you know, I got excited. So there's the excitement period first, and then there's the, oh shit, okay, well, how do I make this as alive and as good as it possibly can? How can I make this something that people don't want to take their eyes off of? How can I make this as good as I possibly can? And that's scary.
What gives you the best shot at pulling that off? Stage, film, television?
It's my stage work. I will always credit my stage work with my ability to have a camera in front of my face and act and emote and, you know, go up and down in all these different emotions and act with people in front of a camera. Being on a stage is very different. You know, it's an intimate house. What you see on stage when you come to see a show, you and everyone else in there are the only ones who will ever know what that performance was. So there's something really sacred and real about theater, which is new every night. And so what makes that alive and what makes it work for me, my TV work, is I know what the feeling of being able to try new things, right? Because it's new every single night. Yeah, the words are the same. Sometimes the actors are not the same, which is a great thing too. But you're getting feedback from an audience and you're in the room with them. And so it makes your listening, it makes you really kind of hold yourself in a way. You're really listening. Something might happen, but it's how you keep going. So your instincts, it makes you sharp. It makes you listen. It makes you want to try things. So when you get on a set, you know, you've been there for 16 hours and you're playing with everyone and we have all these setups. You're trying something new all of the time and you can try and get to the truth. In my opinion, what I love about the work is that it's easier for me to get to the truth of what I'm trying to say with these characters. And does that make sense?
No, it absolutely makes sense. I'm listening. I'm listening to every word you're saying.
Characters.
But I want to ask you, I mean, when you talk about memorizing or remembering your lines, is that a gift? Is it something that you develop along the way, or is it something that you have to be just entrenched in, engrossed in? You got to really, really want it and really feel it to embrace the true character of whatever's scripted for you.
No, I think it's repetition. I think anyone can learn how to examine a script and memorize lines. I think, yes, over my career, I have gotten really good at memorizing scripts very quickly because I like to memorize just enough so I know what I want to do. So when I get into the room, I can be malleable, is what they say. So that if the director wants something different, I'm not stuck to a performance. I know what the words are, but if someone wants to change something, I'm okay with that. So, but the memorization is just another technique in, you know, training.
Where do you feel you are as an actress at this particular point in your career?
In what way?
In terms of what you imagined for yourself and how you believe you are in comparison to no names in particular, but to what the industry standard may label as elite.
Well, I don't know. I would never sit here and tell you that I'm elite, but I will tell you that I am right where I need to be. I have worked a long time. I'm not new to this. You know, I've worked in very different mediums. I've done different kinds of characters. You know, the actor's dream is to be able to do work that you feel proud of, work that you can really put yourself into and, you know, not regret it and just have as much fun. So I'm having fun right now in this season of my life. You know, these are the dreams that I dreamt of as a young performer of wanting to do. I never saw quite this part, you know, but I love that my life has sort of blossomed into this thing that I am now able to do what I love to do on a bigger platform. And I think that I'm just getting started.
You on Madam Secretary, brought up Broadway, I'm thinking about these things that you have done throughout your career. Do you get concerned considering the success of raising Kanan? A lot of times I've spoken to actors and actresses along the way, and they get concerned about being typecast because something is so successful that's all anybody will see you as.
Yeah.
Do you ever find yourself thinking about that at all?
I think about it sometimes, but you know, I've been very fortunate to play different kind of parts. You know, like I started in theater. You know, my first show right out the bat was Sister Act. I played Whoopi's part.
Okay.
You know, I played it in London and on the stage in New York City. You know, like I've done Broadway work where I've done different things. That was a comedy. You know, Pippin called on a different set of skills. Then I did Into the Woods on Broadway as well. So, you know, I did period piece on PBS. So I've done really different kinds of work, and I'm hoping that people will see the entirety of my work and not just one character. I'm very proud of Raquel. I think all of those different roles prepared me for this. But I don't worry about being typecast. But the thing about me, if someone does try to typecast me, then I just will switch it up and I'll change it up, because, you know, I never do what's on the page anyway. That's the thing that you do, is you do the opposite. That's what makes it interesting.
Listen, I'm listening to you talk right now. You don't sound like Raquel on Raising Kanan.
sure
You sound
don't.
totally different. Wait, how you get that accent
But
like that?
I can give you Raquel.
I know you can. I have no doubt about that. But how you change your accent like that?
Because I'm a professional.
Wow.
'Cause
Well,
it's
it's
what
a
I
whole bunch of
do.
professionals,
It's what I
Tina,
do.
that can't do that. They're not you. They can't do that.
I don't know about
Right.
them, but yeah.
What's your aspirations from here?
My aspirations from here, I think I just want to continue to do really grounded work. I want to work with really good writers. I want to work with really amazing directors who like taking chances and who want to work with really good actors. I am an actor that cares a lot about the process, about the entirety of you know, the work, and I'm a dedicated actor. I think, you know, I happen to be friends and very close with so many brilliant actors. And so I pride myself on just being a part of that crew.
Right.
And so, yeah, I want to continue to do what I'm doing. You know, another character that can do what Raquel has done. I had no idea it would. I mean, I hoped it would. We'll see.
Listen, I know a lot of people, you know, I mean, when you're acting, I want to know how hard are you on fellow actors and actresses, meaning that you take it very, very seriously,
I take it
which
very
means you know when somebody is not. You know if you're on a set with
do.
somebody is not, whatever. What would you do in a situation where you're on a set with somebody, you're working with somebody, and they're not taking it as seriously as you would like them to take it? How would you respond to that?
Well, you know what? First off, it's not really my set. I think.
I know.
So what
what I'm asking.
for me, what I do is I continue to do what I do all the time, which is come prepared and stay prepared.
Right.
And so it really forces. Fortunately, I gotta say, I don't really work with those people.
Right.
So you know, I've been very, very lucky to work with some really talented actors, actors who show up every day. Like, you know, how lucky am I to work with London Brown, Mackay Curtis, you know, Malcolm. You know, we Malcolm Mays, like, we are a really amazing team. And then we got Wendell Pierce and Tony Danza. I don't know what that's like, right? Like, our cast is the cast that comes, and they come prepared. So
I gotta tell you, you know, I'm no actor, but I appear in General Hospital. You know, I've been in a soap opera. You know what I'm saying? I've been in General Hospital. I'm gonna be on Law and Order May 8th.
So you an actor then?
I ain't no act. There I go right there. There I go right there. I mean, I'm trying to look the part.
No,
I'm trying
you're
to play it off, Patina. I'm trying to play it off, right? I'll tell you a quick story. I actually had to have an operation on my knuckles last year, because even though I don't pride myself in being an actor, my show on ESPN, First Take, my sports show, I mean, when they say First Take, it really is. I pride myself on getting it right the first time.
First Take.
And this particular day, I had 7 different scenes, Patina, 7 different scenes. And scene 6, for some reason, I could not remember the lines to save my life. And I got so mad, I punched the bag. But I didn't know that the bag, it was in a gym. And I didn't know that the bag was a prop, filled with bricks. and I
Oh.
broke my knuckles and had to get operated on at HSS Hospital for special surgery just last year because I broke my damn knuckles because I couldn't
Wow.
remember my line because all I was thinking about was they had to redo the scene 6 times. And
Yeah.
all I could think about is I'm holding up the entire
Because you
set.
cared.
Because I cared. Because that's how you would have took it. Because I cared.
Yeah, because you cared.
I'm gonna take that. Before I let you get on out of here, let me ask you about this too. I mean, because I understand you're an avid runner
Yes.
and you performed the national anthem at the start of the 2023 New York City Marathon before completing the race.
Yes, I
Is
did.
that true?
Yeah, it's unfortunately true. I mean, listen, I love.
Unfortunately, you could
Only-
run and you could sing. What's the problem?
Yeah, but I don't know if we do those together. Listen, I think it's so amazing that I was able to do that, and I really am so thankful to New York Roadrunners for asking me to be a part of it. And like singing was the most amazing thing. But I don't know why I chose to like run too. You know, that
After
was
you sang?
Yeah.
Because it
yeah.
took some of the breath away.
Yeah, I probably should have waited like a little bit.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I'm gonna be kind. I'm not gonna ask you where you finished. I'm gonna leave that alone.
Oh, I know I finished.
Yeah, you finished though, but you
Yeah.
finished. I was gonna ask where,
Within
but I'm
4
not gonna
hours.
do that. But you 4 hours?
Yeah.
That's not bad.
It's not bad at all.
That's not bad at all.
It's not bad at all. No.
And that's pretty damn good.
Yeah, it is pretty good.
Okay, so
I'm
you
getting
an
faster and
you an
faster.
ath-
We'll
you
see.
An athlete too. She's an athlete too. Okay. Before I let you get on out of here, as we sit here right now thinking about the industry, I'm often curious as to the changing times, digital, see streaming, how it's affected business in Hollywood, et cetera, et cetera. People look at that and they talk about how the industry has changed. Not as much work as it used to be, but I'm looking at all of these outlets and I'm saying, wait a minute, it could be more, whatever. What's your opinion about all of those things in terms of the climate that we're living in right now and what folks need to do in your profession to stay afloat? And if not ascend, considering the times that we're living in. I'm talking about just the way the industry has changed.
I mean, think about it, the industry changes all the time. You know what I mean? Like there was a writer strikes before and like there's always something. So like we're just in a season that things are changing and we're just trying to get used to and navigate this new world, like everybody's trying to get used to what it is now. And I think it's just staying the course, staying ready, partnering with people and writing and I always, because I come from the theater, it's being with your friends and creating and, stay creating. For me, that looks like, being with my writer friends and talking about different show ideas or singing and, gigging, we call it, writing. And so you just continue to stay ready for when the opportunity comes. I think, is it perfect? No, it's not perfect. I think we don't really know what it's going to be, but we just have to figure out how to make it the best for everyone. So
I need a favor. Don't die
I'm in.
on the show. We need you. You understand? I want this show to continue. This is season 5. I need 6, 7, 8. That's what I need. I was talking about the show. I'm sorry.
yeah.
I was talking about the show. I was talking about the show. I was talking about the show. Patina.
Lord, Bobby.
Absolutely. I was talking about the show. You can't go anywhere. Because remember when we watched Kanan later on, Mama had passed away. We don't need that problem. You know what I'm saying? Get Rich, Die Trying the movie. It alluded to Mama passed away. No, we don't need that. We need you around. You're going to be around. That's what we need, Patina. That's all I'm saying.
We'll see. It's power after all. Who knows? Nobody's safe.
That is true. That is what makes the show. The wonderful, the incomparable Patina Miller right here on the Stephen A. Smith Show. Be sure to check out all 4 seasons of Power Book 3, Raising Kanan, available to stream on Stars. Thank you so much. It was an
Thank you
honor
so
and a
much for
privilege.
having me.
Thank
I
you.
really appreciate it.
She's special. Thanks again to Patina Miller. Just can't thank her enough. Listen, before we get out of here, I'd be remiss in neglecting to discuss the Met Gala that took place Monday night in New York City. The theme of the Met Gala was Black Dandyism. And for those of you who don't know, Black Dandyism, this is according to one of my producers who wrote this up for me because I didn't know how to define it per se. But Black dandyism is a cultural movement where Black individuals use fashion and personal style, rooted in the historical tradition of European dandyism, as a form of self expression and a way to challenge societal limitations. It's a way to reclaim agency, assert individuality, and even act as a form of resistance against negative stereotypes and racial prejudices. So I'm looking at the theme here, and I don't know what to say about these. I mean, who is this right here? Who is this? That was Diana Ross. This is Pharrell with I believe his lady. This is Nicki Minaj. Okay, I see the outfit. I see the outfit. I like that. I like how she looks there. I don't know what to say about this stuff. I mean, Rihanna, she's pregnant, obviously. Again, she looks gorgeous. But we see that these are the kind of outfits that were worn by a lot of our ancestors, no doubt about that. So they're living up to it, the accuracy of it all, right there. Who's that? That's Kim K. That's Kim K. Okay. I mean, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. I'm not going to have anything negative to say about that. Andre 3000. Check this brother out with a piano on his back or something that looks like a piano. Now, do I think that's ultimately ridiculous? Yes, but not for him because he's a musician. And because he's a musician, I get it. And he put out a piano album yesterday. So I get it. I understand it. Major props to him. He's just bringing attention to what he's doing. So there's nothing wrong with that. I get it. Carrying music on his shoulders and stuff. Weight of the music industry on his back. That's what's implying. That's what it's implying. I get all of that. I understand that. So I get it. The outfits are very unique. Now, this is Diana Ross. I mean, she's ageless. We get that. But, I mean, that's a lot to carry around. I mean, my goodness. You know, I often wonder, what the hell would I wear? I can't even think about it. That's Madonna. I know that. Okay. Okay, the outfit, I mean, you know, it's not like a virgin, but I get it. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's not saying that. Anna Wintour with Colin Domingo and Lewis Hamilton. I like. I mean, for a Met Gala, that seems pretty fly. I like the Lewis Hamilton. I would have rocked the Lewis Hamilton outfit. Knowing me, I would have rocked something like that. I wouldn't have rocked the other stuff. That's just not how I roll. I mean, that's just not me. Even though, I mean, look, this is Bad Bunny with the hat. I got it. Now fit the gloves. I see it. He ain't trying to be Michael Jackson, but he's saying Michael Jackson ain't the only one that had to wear gloves. God rest his soul. I get that part. All right, that's about it, ladies and gentlemen. That's me commenting on the Met Gala. I don't know too much. I mean, I know how I look in the fashion that I rock, you know, but this other extra stuff, I mean, that's beyond my scope, okay? But I know what looks good and what doesn't, what looks excessive and what doesn't. Diana Ross looked good, but excessive. Then again, she's always been that way. But major props to her. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I got it. I've been invited to the Met Gala about 3 times. I've never gone. I've never had a desire to go. My producer doesn't know when to shut the hell up because now he crossed the line. You got to go. Sit back. You go, okay? I don't feel like going, okay? These people, you know, you go too far. Once again, talking too much. I'm not going. I have had no desire to go. Met Gala, you know, just not my flavor, you know, but they always having it during the NBA playoffs. So I guess the invite isn't really authentic because they know I can't go, you know, because I'm too busy. So maybe they send the invite to say they invited me and I couldn't go, knowing I couldn't go because I have obligations. But it is what it is. I'm not going. I'm not going. Here's my issue, though, before I get on out of here. I don't appreciate the fact that Spike Lee was there. Yo, man, the Knicks was playing. What the hell were you doing at the Met Gala? Damn the Met Gala. They don't come before the Knicks. Very disappointed with Spike Lee. Very disappointed. Should have been there. But they did win without you. So maybe you should stay away for game 2. And if if Boston loses game 2 by some miracle, because I don't think that's going to happen, if the Knicks come back to the Garden, or when the Knicks come back to the Garden this weekend for game 3, if they've won the first 2 games and Spike Lee wasn't in attendance, then you can't come for game 3. Because that means you the jinx if they lose. And we're all going to know it. You wouldn't have that problem if you had showed up. But then again, black dandyism was the theme. And being the historical individual and a proud black man that Spike Lee is, he actually thought that was more important than the Knicks, and he's right. So I guess I can forgive him. But he better not show up for game 2 and the Knicks lose. That's all I'm going to say. That's it for this edition of the Stephen A. Smith Show. Hope y'all enjoyed the show. I got to get on out of here for the next few days, but I'll be back with you before the week is up. Until then, everybody, I'm signing off. Peace and love. Take care of yourself. God bless.